What's happening guys, it's Abhinav from Phone Bunch and today we are going to do the camera review of Xiaomi's flagship, the Mi 5. And later on we are going to check how it stacks up to Samsung's flagship, the Galaxy S7. Now the Xiaomi Mi 5 retails for about half the price of the Galaxy S7, but again it is their flagship smartphone, so comparison is definitely on the cards. Coming to camera specs, you have a 16 megapixel rear camera here, it is flush with the back panel, you have dual tone LED flash and it uses a Sony IMX298 sensor, and you can see that the shutter speed is actually quite good here. You can also control exposure levels right from within the interface. It is actually quite intuitive. Now there are some modes available here too, which you can have a look here. Now I was mostly interested in the manual mode, which let me control quite a lot of things, including white balance, ISO, as well as manual focusing. There are some effects built in as well which do work in real time, and the camera app is really fast, which is definitely an added advantage. Now if we come to video recording, you have slow motion recording available here as well. I'll have a sample later on, and you can record up to 4K videos with this camera. Now video recording is pretty decent, I'll talk more about that later on. The front facing camera here is actually pretty good. Even in low lighting situations, it does take images very well. The same cannot be said about the rear camera though. Now let's have a look at some of these images. In all of these images you can see the color reproduction is actually pretty good. The camera does take a little bit of time to focus in, and you can see all of these 100% crops. There is quite a bit of detail here, there is no over sharpening. But yes, this camera does take a bit of time to focus in, and it cannot focus on small objects or when you are up close. Now the next trouble that I had with the camera was automatic exposure control. It was most of the time I had to actually manually set the exposure to get the correct photo. It was either overexposed or underexposed. Yes, but the HDR mode actually helped out quite a lot in that aspect. You can see these images. So highlights were generally blown out, especially when I was capturing bright shots. Now coming to low light performance, this camera did actually struggle there quite a bit. Now even with optical image stabilization, f2.0 aperture, you can see that the shots actually did turn out quite muddled. Even when we moved indoors, you can see a lot of noise and haziness in these images. So low light performance is just a bit above average here. Now here's the video quality, and again you can see a bit of artifacting here. This is a 1080p video sample. Now this is a slow motion video recorded at 720p, and here too you can see a bit of artifacting. Overall the video quality is definitely better than average here. Now I also shot a time-lapse video, and if you see the entire video, there too you will see a bit of issue with exposure control. Now if we compare it to the Galaxy S7, you have a 12 megapixel camera on the S7, wider aperture at f1.7, a bigger sensor and larger pixel size as well. And talking about autofocusing, the Galaxy S7 focuses in very fast, far faster than the Xiaomi Mi 5. And even if we talk about the interface, it is far more refined on the Galaxy S7. In front of the Galaxy S7, the interface on the Xiaomi Mi 5 seems pretty rudimentary, as does its manual mode. But don't get me wrong, Xiaomi's camera interface is pretty intuitive in itself. It is quite basic though. Now let's have a look at some of the image samples. On the left you have the Galaxy S7, on the right Xiaomi Mi 5. And you can see that the Galaxy S7 takes far more detailed images than the Xiaomi Mi 5, even though it has a 12 megapixel camera compared to 16 megapixels on the Mi 5. And as I said earlier, the Mi 5 does struggle with autofocusing, especially when you move in very close to a subject. Here too you can see the same. The Galaxy S7 is able to capture far more detail than the Xiaomi Mi 5. Even the color reproduction on the Galaxy S7's camera is way better. It's more natural. You do get a sort of a warm tone with Xiaomi Mi 5's camera. And if you look at 100% crop of this image as well, you can see a lot more detail, especially the veins on these leaves. They are far more pronounced. Yes, there is a bit of sharpening going on with the S7's camera, but that makes images far better. It's not over sharpened. And if we come to low light, you really can't beat that larger pixel size and larger aperture. The images taken with the Galaxy S7's camera definitely have more detail, and they look far brighter as well, no matter the lighting conditions. Even in very low light conditions, as you see here, the Galaxy S7's camera definitely shines. And if we come indoors under artificial lighting, the Galaxy S7's camera still takes better images with far less noise, far better color reproduction, and it looks quite natural. And even if we talk about optical image stabilization, the Mi 5, which is on the right with its optical image stabilization, doesn't work as well as the Galaxy S7. Now even in general, the video quality on the Galaxy S7 is way better than the Xiaomi Mi 5. Now this comparison was not to show you that Xiaomi Mi 5 has a bad camera. It actually has a pretty decent camera. It just struggles a bit in low light. But the thing is, when it comes to a comparison, LG's and Samsung's flagships have far better cameras. So that's the thing that Xiaomi really needs to work on. Now the LG G4, Galaxy S6, both of those have better cameras than the Xiaomi Mi 5. And well, the Galaxy S7 is slightly above both of them. So folks, that was all for this camera review. I hope you enjoyed it, found it informative as well. If you did, do hit that like button. Thanks for watching this video. If you have any questions about any of these smartphones that we are reviewing, hit us up on Twitter or in the comment section. Thanks for watching again, and as always, have a great day.